Yes, it's wedding week on the Hampton Road Show, and one big thing to consider when tying the knot is how to pay for everything that revolves around planning a wedding. Financial counselor Sylvia Sutherland from Bayport Credit Union is here to help us plan for the big day. Sylvia, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Now, what is one of the biggest things to remember?
The biggest thing to remember is that you want to start your marriage on a positive financial footing so that you plan for your wedding and that you don't end up spending more than what you can afford.
That is a great plan.
Because the first 5 years of marriage, that's the biggest challenge that couples face.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Well, that would make perfect sense then as to why you should get things going on the right foot.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what are some certain things to consider when getting married?
Well, first of all, think about the end in mind. What type of wedding do you want? Do you want something...
Okay, so not prenup or divorce, right?
Exactly.
Not that kind of end.
Do you want something personal and intimate, or do you want something really grand and elaborate? All right, so as a couple, you need to determine that.
Okay.
All right, once you do that, decide how much you're willing to spend. The average cost of weddings can be anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000. So as a couple, you need to know what your budget is and stick within that budget.
Now, me being the groom, I'm not too worried about it because the bride's father will pay for everything, correct?
Well, that's the next step. Determine who is going to be paying for everything, because traditionally the bride's father pays for everything, but that may not be the case.
Yeah, that's not so much
in
nowadays.
today's world. So if you're going to be paying for it as a couple, decide if you're going to save for it. It's a good idea to just have a savings account for your wedding expense. If you're going to borrow for it, do it on a short-term basis and make sure that you control that as well.
And what are some good ways to kind of cut back on the spending?
Sure, there are different things that you can do. One is just the timing. The peak period for weddings, is between May and October. So if you plan your wedding sometime between November and April, you can possibly negotiate more with vendors. So just keep that in mind regarding the planning of the wedding in terms of the timing. The other thing is the destination wedding.
Yes.
Yes, you can have the wedding and the honeymoon at the same place.
Like the Little Chapel of Love in Las Vegas.
Exactly. Vegas, the Caribbean, you can have everything at one place. Tell your families and friends ahead of time so they can plan their vacation as well.
Great. And you also mentioned before that, you can even set the days like in the middle of the week.
Exactly. Especially if it's going to be a destination wedding. It doesn't have to be on the weekend.
Plus, less people can possibly show up, and that would save even more money from your wedding.
On the reception.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
All right.
You can also do comparison shopping online. There's some great websites, centralized websites dedicated to weddings so that you can comparison shop and see what prices are before you actually go in person.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And I know you had a very lovely, nice little line we need to get you out here with, because I can't rob you of that.
Sure. The key is that you can have the wedding of your dreams without breaking the bank so that you can live happily ever after. That's what I want you to do.
What a fairy tale ending. Let's huzzah to Sylvia Sutherland of Bayport Credit Union. Thank you very much. You literally got an applause from the audience here.
Oh, boy.
Thank you very much for joining us here today. Now, any further information you might need, you can find at bayportcu.org, and we will also link all of those comparison online sites to our story on thehamptonroadshow.com.
Great.
Thank you very much, Sylvia.
My pleasure.